Stop listening to your feelings. What the heck? A therapist telling you to stop listening to your feelings? Especially considering in so many of my other videos, I talk about paying better attention to what's going on inside of us, learning how to be more connected with what we are feeling. And now I'm telling you to stop paying attention to your feelings, stop listening to your feelings. Well, yes. Sometimes it is good for us to not be listening so carefully to our feelings. And I'm going to talk today about what this is all about, why this is, and why if we are always listening to our feelings, it can really stop us from moving forward. It can prevent us from growing, and it can keep us unnecessarily stuck. And if you're new to me, my name is Kristina, and I'm a registered therapist, researcher, and online course creator. I have a master's degree in counseling psychology, and I work to help men and women get through the crap that is holding them back so they can like themselves and their lives more every day. And yes, it's true. Sometimes our feelings do lie to us. Because let me ask you, when's the last time you knew it would be good for you to get out and get some exercise, or call a friend to just check in and to just have a chat, or to reach out and ask for support, to ask for help? You knew that it would be good for you to do, but there was something that just made you not feel like doing it. And then you didn't do it. You listened to those feelings and you didn't do it. And then later on ended up feeling worse, ended up feeling disappointed in yourself, discouraged, even more frustrated, even more stuck because you listened to those feelings. And I have to tell you a little secret that our feelings are not always on our side. Our feelings don't always have our best interest at heart. Sometimes our feelings get kind of just like they want the thing that's going to be easiest. They want the path of least resistance. And sometimes they want the thing that's going to feel most comfortable or easy in the moment. And they don't really consider the fact that this might be the exact thing that does make us feel worse later on, that makes us feel discouraged, that makes us feel like we failed, that makes us feel frustrated with ourselves later on. So we need to talk about this. We need to talk about what to do with this, because this can be a big thing that people struggle with when they struggle with procrastination, with lack of motivation, with staying stuck, with not being able to reach their goals, and they can't figure out why. They really want to reach their goals. This stuff is really important to them. But when it comes down to doing the thing that would help them move towards the thing that is important to them, the goal that they have, they tell themselves, oh, I don't really feel like doing it now, or I'm kind of tired, or I'd rather just sort of sit here and like eat an entire deep and delicious cake and watch Netflix all day. Like that's kind of what I want to do. But if you are someone who does that, who puts aside the thing that you know that you want to be working on, that's important to you, and you let those feelings take over and you go to the thing and you do the thing that might feel good in the moment, you know that it feels worse afterwards, that you feel frustrated with yourself afterwards. You feel another day went by and I didn't make any progress and I didn't move forward. So this is what I'm talking about. Why we don't always get to listen to our feelings. Why what we feel like doing in the moment isn't the thing that should always win and be making our decision for us. We need to take back control. We need to take back charge of our own lives and be able to make our own decisions and not let our feelings of wanting that easy pleasure in the moment make our decisions for us. So I'm going to go through 3 different things that you can work on, that you can start working on right away, that you can start just asking yourself and reflecting on next time, that will help to get you unstuck. Some reminders, some mindset shifts that will really help you to not be listening so much to those feelings in these types of situations. So the first thing that we need to be asking ourselves is, what do I want now versus what do I want most? And that is a really important question, because what I want now is not necessarily what I want most. And that's a lot of times what discipline is, what motivation is looking at what do I want now? So right now, maybe I want to do the thing that just would be kind of easy and comfortable, but what do I actually want most? And if I can be focusing on, if I can be reminding myself, what do I want most? And so then using that as my reason to do something, because what I want now is not getting me to what I want most. So asking yourself that question in those moments. And sometimes that can be enough of a kick in the pants that we need to move forward. And this is one that I use with myself a lot. If I say to myself, oh, I don't feel like working on this, or I don't feel like doing this video, I'm kind of tired, or I'm kind of worn out, or I'm not feeling the best, but what do I want most? And it is important to me to be putting out a video as much as possible every week, and to be helping you guys, and to be building my community online. And that's what I want most. I want that more than giving in to feeling kind of tired, or a little unmotivated, or maybe a little uninspired, because I know too, and like you probably know too, once you get into it, once you kind of get past that hump and get into it, then you feel good. And you're like, okay, this is actually good. I'm actually enjoying this. So sometimes just getting past that initial hump by asking ourselves, what do I want now versus what do I want most? Another important reminder that we can be saying to ourselves when we're feeling stuck, when we are about to give in to those feelings that might be lying to us, being able to remind ourselves to say, if I want to grow, I need to stretch. I need to get uncomfortable. And human beings are wired for growth, that we always want to be growing and moving forward. It's just part of what makes us happy. It's part of what contributes to healthy mental health and positive well-being, and a satisfying life is to feel like we're growing, to feel like we're moving. We get stuck when we feel stagnant. We get kind of down when we feel like we're just staying in one place, when we're not growing, at least in some aspect of our lives. So being able to remind myself that my growth is important. And if I want to be honoring that need for growth that I know is going to be good for me and actually make me feel good about myself and my life, then I have to get uncomfortable. That discomfort is not always a bad thing. Sometimes we get so freaked out and so wigged out by the idea of getting uncomfortable, but discomfort is actually important and essential. We can't grow if we're not willing to stretch ourselves. So reminding myself that if I want to grow, I have to be willing to stretch, and I have to be willing to get at least a little bit uncomfortable. And then the last thing that we can do, and this is probably my favorite one, and this is a little bit of a tricky one because of the messages that our society gives us. And one of the big messages that permeates our society almost all the time is do what feels good. And it's always saying like, do what feels good, do what feels right, like follow your bliss, and all these kinds of messages. And that is actually not always a very helpful question to be asking ourselves, because as we've been talking about, what feels good now is not necessarily the thing that's going to be good for us. So that question of what feels good, I want you to kind of just get that one out of your vocabulary, just to stop even bringing that one in, because often it doesn't help us. It's not actually good for us to always be asking, what's going to feel good? Now, a better question and a way more serving question, a way more useful question for us to be asking is, what is in my best interest? And do you see the difference? What's in my best interest in this moment? What is in my best interest? What is going to be the thing that is best for me, that's going to be good for me, that's going to be helping with my growth and my happiness and my overall well-being as a human being? And sometimes what is in my best interest is not going to necessarily feel the best in that moment. What is best for me is not always what feels best in that moment. So reminding ourselves of that and allowing ourselves to get uncomfortable, to stretch ourselves, to be willing to not always let those feelings win out and leave us feeling like we are not in charge of our own choices, because that's what we want as human beings. We need to feel like we are in charge of our own lives and our own choices, because when we don't, it results in things like depression or anxiety or fear or overwhelm or just feeling disconnected and small in our lives. When we feel like we're not in charge of our own lives and our own choices, it can bring up a lot of discord emotionally for us. And one way to learn how to not get so wrapped up and pulled up and kind of pulled behind our emotions and at the mercy of our emotions is to learn how to be more mindful, to learn how to practice mindfulness. And I have a free mindfulness exercise that I love because it helps so much with teaching us how to not get so wrapped up in our thoughts, wrapped up on our emotions and kind of dragged along behind them. So you can grab that free mindfulness exercise. And if you're new to mindfulness, it is also that exercise. Once you get it, you will also get an email with a link to a brief video that describes exactly what mindfulness is in a really simple and straightforward way. So make sure you sign up for that. If you found this video useful, can I ask you to share it out to the people in your network, in your life, to your loved ones? I can ask you to spread the word about this message, that our feelings sometimes lie to us and we can't always be listening to them. And do be sure to like the video. Every like counts and is so appreciated. And I love hearing your comments below. I love having more of a conversation with you after the video in the comments section. Please do that, because I love being able to connect more with you. It's a treat for me. And please leave your comments in the comments section below and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, I create videos regularly. And so free content on our personal development and mental health is here. So subscribe so that we can stay connected in that way. Until next time, take good care.